could start with a jazz blues. I mean, that's like, or take a simple jazz standard and you just try to play it in different keys. Okay, so you know that like when you're doing a blues, you play on the metronome on 2 and 4.
Yeah.
You put it on 2 and 4.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Okay, cool. So you got the clicks on 1 right now.
I do? All right.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like to start it, it's you have to think of when it clicks as 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3,
Right.
4.
Right. Okay, let me stop you. So you notice immediately how it feels better. It feels like it's amazing that it's just quarter notes, but as soon as you put the click on 2 and 4, it feels like jazz, because that's where in jazz that's and even in some blues that's where the beats felt on 2 and 4.
It's also harder to play slower. That's actually really good.
It is harder to play slower.
Yeah. That's really good.
Definitely. What I'm going to do is the second time through the blues, I'm not going to play the 1-6-2-5. I'm just going to walk through that turnaround all on an F7. So I'll take it from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. F7 to the 4. Back to the 1 for 2 bars. To the 4. 4. 1. 1. 2. 5. Turnaround. 1, 6, 2, 5. Top. Right? Now, at the end of this, I'm going to blow off that turnaround. 4, 4, 1, 2, 5. No turnaround. See, that time I didn't do the turn. I just walked a pattern over F7, and it'll work fine also. So that's an option.
All right, cool. That's something good to work on for sure. That's
Right.
awesome. So I try to nail it using those root tones, and then try to do it with the don't tell me. So we have it doing the root tones, then we have it doing the what was this? What was that called? The alternate, the flat fit.
That's kind of like you're using tritone subs of the.
Well, what was the second one we did?
The second one is where you don't do the turnaround and you just walk 2 measures on the 1 chord.
You just keep on F. Okay, so you got do the changes, then do an F7, and then do the tritone sub.
Right. So even if you're kind of on a clunker note on beat 4, you can always, if you keep track, you can always kind of save yourself by nailing the root on the downbeat. Right.
Then that's jazz, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. It's just like you're always 1 note away from the right note. So try that. Just try doing that now with the metronome. You can slow it down even a little bit if you want, and just try to nail. This also lets test you to know that where the chords are changing. You can play a whole pattern where you don't play the 1 at all, but your voice leading is, if it's strong, people can still hear, harmonically what's going on. It's not just random notes. You're playing chord tones that eventually lead back into a root, There I play like A flat, I didn't play an F anywhere on the first measure. that's you could still hear, you know, but you don't want to do like, it can be annoying if the bass player does too much of that. Then there's nobody playing the root motion. But some of that can be really cool as colors and just sound really melodic. Something even real simple. Ray Brown, the great jazz bass player, used to just play 1/5. And that works too. I mean, so at the end, I just wanted to show you, and you can practice this in different keys, like a good turnaround, 2/5 turnaround. Like if we're in G, we're in F, so we're playing G minor. So you can just climb up the G minors like. So that's G minor to C7 to the F6 2 5 1. So the 2/5 is just you're just walking up the minor scale. G A B flat D C. That's the first measure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, see, my problem is I'm always going to the D flat, but you're going using the D to the C, so that's better. That makes more sense. Yeah, I like that better.
What do you mean E flat?
Well,
so what do you?
That's what I was doing,
that's fine.
I like that better.
No, but both of them work. Both of them work. It's just so try doing the whole progression real slow. Just try doing the G minor to the C7 to the F. G
minor to C.
So if you're going to do it in that octave, then your C7 will be. Right. And then. Yeah, just do it slow. Right. And then do
that's awesome.
Right. I actually got that turnaround from listening to Tommy Shannon, the bass player with Stevie Ray Vaughan. Oddly enough, he plays some really cool shuffle lines, and he would play 1. So that's basically 1. If we're playing in C, 1 3 6 5. No. Right.
Yeah. So
if you play it like he was playing an E and it sounded like this. I think that was in Pride and Joy. Actually, he played that. So I actually got a cool walking bass line for jazz, listening to blues, which is where jazz comes from. Right. You know, but because in some ways jazz has gotten so sophisticated now that we lose track a little bit that there is blues in jazz. So. I mean, that's a cool line in any key. It sounds great in E. Right? So let's try the blues. Now, just try the blues one time in the key of C. Amazing, right?
Oh, my God. That's so cool.
One more. Let's try one more key before we finish. See, it's not rocket science.
No, but it's so cool how they work together like that. That's great.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember seeing a clinic years ago with Ray Brown, and what he said, something really cool also, is that different keys are going to make you play different things. So on the electric bass, it's easier to play in different keys and play the same thing because, we can be more pattern oriented. But on upright bass, certain keys really made you have to change everything. So, I mean, and it does apply to some degree on electric bass. Some things aren't going to sound the same in certain octaves or in certain keys, but that pattern, that you can move that around it. Right? So you can move it around a lot, Let's try this. Let's try just doing, in the key of G, let's just try doing the last part of the G blues with the 2, the 5, and then the 1 6 2 5 turn around. So we're in the key of G's.
Okay.
Yeah, start.
I'm gonna get it.
Try doing it in the lower octave if you can.
Okay.
Right, and then do the 1-6-2-5 at the end.
1-6-2-5. Well, that was this, right? No, that was the.
That's a 1-6-2-5. The turnaround where you got 2 chords per measure. So it sounds like this. Right, so you're playing. No. So you got to think about it. What's the 6 of G?
E.
So you can just walk right down to E from that G. Play that low E. So that's what I'm saying. We're certain keys are going to make you play. You can jump up to the higher E, but you're down in this low G. So just go to that low E. Right. So you can just go to the low E there.
Let me try one more time.
Yeah. You're sticking one extra note in. The timing, you got to make sure your timing.
Well, if I go to the right?
No, you're going to it late. What you want, you got to have this. You got G, E, A, T, G, right? Like in other words, you play G, F sharp, E, A flat, A, T flat, D, A flat, G.
So don't I only want to be on the G for 2 beats?
It's like this. G, G, E, E.
Okay, that's what this is. Yeah. All right, let me try it again.
Up to A.
2.
Yeah,
6,
you're
5.
missing the A. You're missing the 2 chord. You gotta chromatically go up to A.
Okay, I think I got it. Oh yeah.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah, you can do that. Right. You can do an open.
Yeah,
that's it.
I'm hearing it though. That's the thing.
That's it.
It's so cool. It's like I'm hearing that. I'm hearing
Right.
where it needs to go. I gotta get that.
Yeah, the more
that's a great way of looking at it. I never really thought of that before. That's
the more you do it too, the more you'll hear it. But it's good to practice it in different keys and think of it numerically.
right.
And because once you do that, it's pretty easy. Once you practice it, it's just you're just inserting, the 5 or the 2 or the 6 of whatever key you're in.